made that song for you guys. Damn.
Yeah, that is so good.
Wow.
I'm feeling it. I'm always feeling it.
Just gets my rocks off every time.
What up, what up?
Hey.
What up, 2 times.
What up? Dave Slack in the house. We would like to cordially welcome you to your own fucking studio.
Wow, it's the first time I've ever been a guest.
How's it feel? Is it weird?
Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. You know?
Right.
Story of my life.
What's good, man?
Not a lot. I mean, a lot. A lot is good. I answered that question
What do you
wrong.
mean?
Everything is good.
Everything is good.
Everything is great right now.
Damn,
It's
right
so
on.
tight.
Killing it.
It's so tight.
Oh, yeah.
Crushing it.
Everything's
good
just
feeling.
happening.
Yeah.
Everything's happening.
Right on. Yeah, dude. You fucking...
I can vape on this podcast.
You
It's
can
great.
vape on this podcast. Yep.
This is a pro vaping
Let's
podcast.
hey, wait.
Let's all
Pick that up
take
right
one.
now.
What? Oh, we're all gonna vape. Nice.
Is that good? Is that good for the camera?
It could be.
Fucking
Hold on.
let us
I'm
know.
gonna. Can you guys hear? Oh no, you're not. I don't have your headphones on. Hold on.
Negative.
I gotta turn myself up real quick.
Okay.
Oh, tight. Look at this guy, dude.
All right, I think
It's
that's
fucking.
good. Yeah.
It's like a teacher back in the day, writing on the
Yeah.
chalkboard like backwards.
So you can keep an eye on everyone.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, this is the guy who does all the sound and all the audio and video shit for our podcast. So now
Slack.
he's a guest and doing all that shit at the same time. So we're just fucking winging it because he's got some shit.
Yeah, and strangely enough, we're wearing the same clothes as last week.
Oh,
Did you guys
weird.
notice that?
Who is?
I didn't know that.
No, your pants were shattered last week. You're wrong.
That's fair.
So, dude.
A lot of good shit going on in your life.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
You got
Started this media company. I'm
Right on.
doing. I'm working a lot more at this vape lab that I work at
Oh yeah.
for Bud Out. We've been blowing up there, and
What do you do at the vape lab?
Make vape juice, dude.
You make vape
Yeah,
juice.
we make vape juice. We ship it wholesale all over the U.S. and
So for those of you guys who don't know, this is what a fucking vape lab looks like, right? So I was there yesterday. I walk into the door, right? To the right, they have somebody packaging, wrapping bottles for vape juice, right? It's my friend Jake. What up, dude? And then to the left,
butterscotch stallion.
and so where Jake is, it's like a bunch of couches and a bunch of tubs, you know, like full of all these empty bottles of vape juice. And then on the other side, it's like this super fucking laboratory with a sign on it that says sanitized and like the date and time it was sanitized. And then you see Dave in there with like his latex gloves on, mixing all these fucking chemicals and all this crazy like vile shit.
Turns around and looks at you like,
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And then he fucking poured it down his throat. It was fucking weird. But anyways, dude, it was cool. It was a cool experience. So yeah, dude. Welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you. I love you. You know?
Love you guys
so
too.
they're
Dude.
doing pretty well. You guys outsourcing now? You guys wholesaling or what?
Yeah, we're doing wholesale stuff, shipping it out everywhere, keeping me busy there. I'm going to Europe in October for 15 days.
shit.
It's going to be cool by myself.
Hey,
Doing
paid
a
for it?
15-day trek.
Except
Well,
for the
that-
last 2 days, right? Who you
Yeah.
gonna see, dude?
Nick and Marcus. Trying to do a whole trip by myself.
Yep.
You know? They had to ride my fade.
Yep,
That's cool.
yep, we did. That's actually exactly what we did. Me and Marcus
They're
has
like,
to go.
oh, you're going on a trip? I'll go on a trip to the same place.
Yeah, me and Marcus. So
Who was the most original?
Dave said that he was going to Barcelona.
And then
And
both
me
of
and
them
Marcus
asked-
tried to
yeah.
invite ourselves.
And I said no.
We were like, we were like, damn. Well, we want to go. And Dave was like, no.
This is a solo thing, boys.
Dave was like, no, I'm good.
I didn't. So Marcus can be a little bougie,
Yeah.
and then I don't know what to expect from you out there. So
Yeah,
I'm going to Vienna. I'm going to
Yeah.
Budapest. I'm driving through all of Croatia, and then I'm ending back up in Barcelona at the end.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's where we can meet up.
Yeah, dude. So me and Marcus essentially were like, all right, well, Dave doesn't want to go with us. I mean, it's still a good idea that Dave had, so we kind of still want to go. So we're gonna fucking go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right.
All
it's
salty
fine.
about it.
So
It's fine.
yeah, dude. I mean, you did a stint in the army, did a shitload of acid. I mean,
Hey, come on now, man. Let's not roll it out all at the same time.
Yeah, you're blowing all the
Yeah, dude.
surprises,
Well,
dude.
I know, man. What's up, man?
I don't know. So let's start with what are we talking about then? Pivotal moments.
Yeah,
in the life.
Dark shit, light shit, whatever.
Okay, so I guess I was a late bloomer when it came to drugs and stuff, you know. And I'm in recovery, just like you two guys, and it started late for me, you know. Like early on, all through high school, I was a good kid. I was on the tennis team. I had a super Christian girlfriend. And we
tennis, huh?
Yeah,
Oof.
varsity all 4 years.
You look like a tennis player.
Desert Mountain.
Tennis Letterman jacket.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Did you have the
killed
racket
it.
on your sleeve? Like the two rackets crossing?
No.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. But then senior year is kind of when it all started hitting. I found weed. First time I ever smoked weed was we picked up this girl from this Catholic school, and she had rolled a blunt for us, and me and my 3 friends had never tried weed before, and we all smoked this blunt. It was rolled out of Bible paper, and she told us it was from the index section, so it wasn't as like holy is how she put it. But
That should even be more holy since
Right.
it's got more
the index, there was nothing written on it though.
oh,
Like
yeah.
the notes section.
The notes section. Don't want to get that. Don't want to smoke that ink.
But like real quickly, like I had to make up for lost time because like all through high school I was with this girl and I didn't do any of that stuff. So real quickly I wanted to be like the best at drugs. So I tried everything that I possibly could, and what really shifted everything was that first time that I took LSD, and it really.
When was that? How old were you?
18.
Oh, so very quickly after you first got high.
Wait, why'd you do it? Somebody was just like, hey, you want to try
Somebody
this?
was like,
dope
"Oh,
shit?
hey, we've done this before. It sounds really fun." I was always super interested, but like didn't have the connects.
Right.
Word.
And then we found it, and it shifted my reality where it was like, okay, this is it, you know. And I didn't give a shit about other stuff, and
Literally and metaphorically, of course.
yeah.
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 So that was really cool, and for a little bit. But so I after like that summer was pretty wild as far as like trying all different kinds of anything I could get my hands on.
Word.
And then I get into ASU. So I was at ASU the first year. I was dating this girl who was very studious and like responsible, and that was not me, but she like kept me in line, and she like made me get C's and B's at least.
Yeah. Yeah. And you didn't tell her about all the shit you were putting in your face.
I wasn't then. She was monitoring me
Yeah.
closely.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Mama bear, dude.
Yeah. But so we broke up after that first year, and then the second year we were off campus at these party apartments. And have you ever seen Daniel Tosh where he did the thing at ASU? We were at those apartments.
Oh, yeah. Right on.
Yeah.
Tosh.0.
Yeah, Tosh
Was
point
that,
oh.
was that was a Gateway apartment?
Yes.
Oh, my God. That place was a shit show, dude.
University of McClintock.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh, God. This is awful.
Yeah, we had like multiple fights. So we had 8 of us live in 2 4-bedroom, 4-bathrooms on the 3rd story of one of those apartments. And ours was like the weed and drug apartment, and the other one, our friends were like more into drinking, and so they built a full-size bar with a kegerator installed and everything in their apartment.
Damn.
And so we just had the biggest parties
Dedication.
every day.
Were you guys like next door to each other, like wall to wall?
Yeah, we
Oh
planned
my
it that
God.
way.
That's tight.
That's a deal.
That's tight. All right.
Deal.
We would LAN connect like our Xboxes so that we could play 4-on-4 Halo, Halo 2.
Hell yeah.
That's so tight.
Yeah.
Hear each other screaming through
People
the other
just
room.
come through on a Tuesday afternoon, fill up their beer at the kegerator, come by, smoke a bowl.
Yeah.
Dude, that sounds like a fucking movie. That sounds like a Van Wilder
it was
movie.
pretty wild.
You know what I mean?
But so because of that, I stopped going to class. I got like
It's all serious.
I got behavioral and academic probation at the same time
What is that?
from school. So like behavioral, because at the first year they caught us with like some beer cans in our dorm room,
Yeah.
and they wrote us up, and I never addressed it. I just ignored it, and so I got put on behavioral probation. And then the academic was just because I wasn't going to class.
Okay.
So 20 years old, what happened was we had this big party one night where like there was an empty room also on the 3rd floor, like a little ways down, and somebody had opened the door somehow, and then we just trashed that apartment. Like there was like bubbles coming out of the dishwasher, and like people were peeing on the floor in the back room, and then like somebody took a sledgehammer to one of the toilets in the front
Good
room and just
God.
smashed it. And like I was
going the extra
pretty
mile.
inebriated that night, and I walk in there, and there was like an inch or 2 of water on the ground, and I like thought I was being a good guy, so I like reached behind the thing and turned off the toilet so that it would stop like spraying water in the air.
Oh, fuck.
And I have a video of me doing this, walking through the apartment and be like, whoa, this is all messed up. Like somebody pulled the fan down on the ceiling. Like it was just destroyed. Jesus. And so in my video, I went back and watched it, and I remember I was walking through the thing, there were pieces of porcelain everywhere, and I cut my toe. And
Were you pissed?
In the video, I hear myself go, ow! Like that, but I didn't think about it at the time. So I walk back to my room, pass out. Next morning, I go to work. Cops show up.
To your room?
No, because they were responding to the damage that had
Right,
happened.
right.
It was an empty.
But they didn't go straight to you.
They did after they followed the blood trail
Oh,
from
from
my
your
toe
toe.
back to our apartment.
Oh,
NCIS ASU.
So I'm at work. Another one of the 4 roommates was out of the country, and the 2 dumber roommates were home. And they let the cops
you and
inside. And we happened to have like this 3-foot bong behind the TV, and they saw it. And then so they searched the place and did this, and then so the apartment complex evicted all 4 of us, even the guy that was out of the country.
They are terrible drug addicts.
just came back to the United States homeless.
So 20 years old, on academic behavioral probation, and now I'm moving back to my dad's house in Scottsdale.
But on the plus side, you had the origins of Slack Media in the works with that
A
video.
long time ago.
Hey.
Right. Still have the
It was
video?
like 2002. No, I lost that camera and all the tapes. I don't know where they are. But,
Shit, man.
It's somewhere.
This is a few years after you started.
Yeah.
Just a few short years,
Yeah.
and you're already.
Consequences came quick.
Wow.
But so I'm 20 years old. I'm at my dad's house, and I was like lying to him that I was going to class when really I would just drive around and like do drugs and stuff. And I'd come back home, and eventually he found out, and like I had to make a decision, like get a job or do something. And my response was join the Army. So,
Why is that?
I don't know. I just felt like compelled to do it. I saw a recruitment station. I stopped by there, and I took I think it's called the ASVAB.
Yeah, some
the,
shit like
the
that.
test that you take to do it. I tapped in I tested in like the top percentile, and the guy's like, well, you can basically pick whatever job you want. You know, it's gonna be really cool and good for you. And I told him, I go, well, I can't pass drug tests. I smoke weed all the time. He's like, don't worry about that. The recruitment officer went to Trails. That's like a local head shop that's pretty big out here, and he got me a drug test passing kit. And he left
Good
it,
dude.
He left it in front of the recruitment station after hours. I swung by, picked it up, used as directed.
There just might happen to be one
Yeah,
laying around.
I don't know. And so I took it. I went down and did the test, and I passed. So not even 21 yet. Go. I do all this physical stuff, and they test me, and I'm good. I'm ready to go, and I get shipped out to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, for basic training. And at this point, my life had no direction. Like I was doing like an undergrad. I was like on like an 8-year plan to get my bachelor's at ASU.
Oh,
like
man.
it was just
Same.
like I was
relate
like,
that too
well, how
close.
many classes can I take that aren't in any direction? You know, like I'm taking like the second year I was like ancient Greek, and like this other class and stuff like
Pottery.
Yeah.
anything to fulfill like general requirements and not
This
have
would
to
be a
choose a
Pokemon.
direction.
Right.
But this was like a direction finally.
Oh yeah.
And so I was excited about that. So I don't know. I got in really good shape. I maxed out like, so they have like, they give you like 2 or 3 minutes in basic training to like do like, they give you 3 minutes to do as many sit-ups as you can. And they have like a top tier thing where like, if you hit that, that's the max. Like it doesn't matter anymore. And push-ups. And I hit both of those. And like, I could run 2 miles in 12 minutes, like 2 6-minute miles.
Damn.
And I was in
impressive.
great shape. I was like great with the M16. I could hit targets from like 400 meters away, just like, and then like
Okay.
a second later, it just drops.
Damn.
Got
And-
ourselves a shooter.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
shooters got to shoot, dude.
Shooter's got to shoot.
And like they let us throw a live grenade. I watched.
Yeah.
I
How'd that
watched
feel?
oh, it was cool.
Is that satisfying as fuck or
Well,
what?
it was like, oh shit.
Hot potato.
Yeah. You're supposed to cook it for a second too.
Yeah.
Oh, you pull the pin, and you're like,
Oh, yeah. I seen
Then
that
you
shit on
throw it.
Call of Duty. I used to do that on Call of Duty.
oh yeah, it's totally the same.
Yeah.
Totally the same. Completely.
Does it make a sound?
Consequences are
Does it
the
make a
same,
sound? Like a.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Oh,
saying when
no,
you're cooking it.
No.
You just kind of got to. In your
It's
head.
got like an 8-second or 10-second timer, and then it blows up.
Okay.
And if you're still holding it, you're dead.
Right.
And then they like
And you're also dumb.
they shot a rocket launcher at a tank in front of us, like a real one. That was really cool.
Did it break it?
Right. Didn't do shit to it.
No, I didn't do anything.
Hell yeah.
But it was cool.
Damn.
So, so like I have direction and I'm excited. Like it's not like anything negative at all. And away from drugs and alcohol, like they don't give you a second. Like you're up at 5, then you're doing like physical therapy, then you're eating breakfast, and they're like, I was real skinny then. I was like 120, 125 pounds, and that's how I was my whole life. And they're like, they were meeting me to eat like 3 extra desserts everything to like fatten me up, and it wasn't working. But they told us that we get to come home for Christmas Exodus, as they called it.
Exodus.
So, yeah, Christmas
It's a
break.
strong
Christmas
word to
break.
use for it.
That is a strong word.
Yes, and they gather like 800, 1,000 people in a gymnasium. And they tell us all like it's a whole bunch of different platoons of people in basic training, and they tell us that, hey, so you're gonna go home for Christmas break. You got I think it was like the 24th or the 23rd of December all the way through the 2nd of January. So we get to go home, see people, see our friends before we come back, and they tell us we're gonna drug test you when you get back. So don't do anything stupid. And they told us like 8 times. Same thing, and they're giving us all these rules and stuff, and they go, somebody always does something stupid. Don't be that person. All right? And so I'm making friends, you know, there's people that like I was tight with already in this thing, and like I met the people that were going to go to the secondary training that I was going to go to. And it was actually going to be down in Tucson at Fort Huachuca, and for military intelligence. And so,
Like being a spy and shit?
or computer work or whatever it is.
Okay.
You know, whatever they needed and whatever I fell into. And then the plan after that was to be shipped off to Germany, which really meant like Iraq, Afghanistan, those places.
Yeah.
They just say Germany.
Where the real action's at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta get nasty.
Oh my god. Nasty.
Not a sponsor yet.
You gotta hold it up to the camera. There you go.
Read it and wheat.
And so I come home, spend Christmas with my mom and dad, and that was good. That was cool. And, you know, it's the last time I'm going to see everybody. And then New Year's comes around. Hanging out with my friends. They're like, I was tight with these guys since like middle school, elementary school, stuff like that. They get me like this scrapbook where it's like pictures of all of us for the last like 8 years. And they're like, oh, it's going to be so cool. We're all drinking, having fun. And like the series of events, looking back, it's because I'm an alcoholic. But I didn't know that at the time. So the series of events, like we're drinking, we're hanging out, we're having fun, and then all of a sudden, like someone orders some Coke. It was probably me. But and then all of a sudden the Coke was there on the table, and then all of a sudden I had done the Coke.
I don't always drink beer, but
Yeah.
when I do a lot of lines of blow.
And I don't like Coke or meth or any of the uppers. You know, that's not my bag.
Yeah.
And
but the allergy was there.
yeah.
And it kicked in.
I did it knowing that. And then the next morning I wake up, January 1st, I'm just like, oh shit, I gotta go back tomorrow. And they told me they're gonna. And then so I'm like drinking a ton of water. I'm like considering drinking vinegar, but I didn't because somebody told me that works or something like that.
Eating peanut butter, sucking on pennies.
Yeah, charcoal or whatever. I don't know.
Sucking on pennies? What the
That's for a DUI, I think.
Really? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Probably not.
It was
but-
a fucking urban legend.
Like niacin? You guys remember niacin?
Yeah, but then it's like, why are you sucking on pennies? The cop asked him, there's no law against it.
I really like
Give it a
pennies,
shot
judge
sometime,
me.
asshole.
Yeah. Straight up.
So I go back, and on the 3rd of January, just like they said, they tested everybody. Everybody got a test. And I didn't hear anything. So it got back in the groove. Like I was a little lethargic from the days of partying. So took a while to get back into shape again, but like it was fine. I was there. And then February 5th comes around. February 5th was a big day. It was my 21st birthday, and it was the graduation day from basic training.
Oh, shit.
All on the same day.
Damn.
My family's out from Michigan and Arizona in Missouri to see me graduate and walk and do this thing and everything, and everyone's like proud of me, and I've been talking to them.
Yeah.
And on the 4th in the evening, they call me into the captain's office, and they're like, hey, you failed your drug test, idiot.
Get the fuck out.
You're not going to walk tomorrow.
They waited.
Oh, 100%. What, does it take a month to get a drug test back?
That's fucking
Jesus,
weird.
dude.
What?
They just want to be assholes.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Whatever. I get it.
So you are lost for years. You
So I got a call.
Yeah.
Yeah. I finally find like this direction. So I got to call my mom at the hotel. in the evening before all of this, before my 21st birthday, and I walk. I have to be like, hey, Mom, so I'm not going to be graduating tomorrow. You guys made this trip for nothing. And I screwed up.
Are they already in town?
Oh, yeah. They're in Missouri.
Oh, no.
So the next day, my uncle and his wife and my grandma just drove back to Michigan. They didn't even see me.
Wait, what did you tell them happened?
Well, I said I failed my drug test. And she goes, for weed? And I go, yeah. I've since told her the truth.
For weed,
but
yes.
Thank God.
yes, yeah, but I didn't want to get into that. Yeah. Like that's any better. Like they still paid the money and made the trip, and
Right.
But whatever.
Yeah. You had 10 days to not get high.
I know. I couldn't do it.
Seriously.
Couldn't do it. And so then the Michigan family goes back to Michigan. The rest of my family stays there and like celebrates this like tearful, crappy 21st birthday with me. If anyone's having a worse 21st birthday story, let me know.
Oh, yeah. No
'Cause,
shit.
yeah.
No shit. Talk about a letdown.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, and so they give me like these army-related, like my mom got me this army-related scrapbook with camouflage in the front, and then like other things I would use for the army. And now it's like, I don't even know if I'm gonna be here. So they gave me two options. First option was that I stay in the army and they pick my job title for me, so I would do whatever they wanted. I'd be like the dude who cleans toilets.
Yeah, you'd be a grunt.
Right.
You'd be their bitch.
Yeah, or
Which in the army is like
it's pretty
Inception
serious.
version of bitch.
Yeah, or they would give me a general discharge and it'd be like I was never in the army. So I took that. You know? And so I came back. I was there for like 3 months because it takes a long time to do anything.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not like on the priority list.
Yeah.
You know, so to get discharged officially, like I was there as they called it a holdover. And I saw another whole group, like I saw all my friends leave and go off to their own secondary training. And then a whole new group came in. They all did their thing, graduated, left. And then a whole nother group came in. And then finally I was able to like get discharged.
Good Lord.
I'm just stuck
They
there.
really wanted to rub it in, didn't they?
Yeah. And then like some of the drill sergeants were such assholes. Like one guy, when he'd be like walking by, whenever he'd see me, go like that, and just like
I'm picturing
mess with
Full
me
Metal Jacket right now.
nonstop. And I just felt so bad.
Oh, no.
And also at the same time, I'm getting these letters from my mom that just like doesn't understand why. Why did you like trade all of this opportunity for a brief drug high?
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't have an answer.
You don't have
I
those
didn't
fucking
know.
answers
No.
for yourself. Yeah.
No, and it was like the only time in my life where I made a solemn oath that I wasn't going to do anything anymore. Like it was obviously affecting my life. Like this was a big consequence. And within a week, I was back doing the same shit when I got home. Yeah.
Damn.
How'd it feel?
How did what feel?
Like getting all these letters from your mom and
Oh, that was horrible. You know, because like the letters leading up to there were super positive. Like she just wanted to stay in contact, like and make
proud
sure,
of you.
Yeah. And my dad was never like for the army idea. Like he thought it was stupid and a rash decision, which it probably was. I mean, it was 20 years old.
Right.
You know.
But still an honorable decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's insane, man. You're quickly thrown into the throes of addiction and decide to join the army and find this way out, if you will. And you're fucking grinding. Did you, when you were out there, when you were out in Missouri, did you have any obsessions? Were you sitting there thinking
No.
about like, oh shit, I'm gonna go home and get loaded?
No, I was
So you're
so
at peace.
distracted with everything that's going on because they keep you busy.
Yeah.
The second you wake up till you go to sleep, and when you go to sleep, you're just exhausted.
Yeah.
I mean, and it might be different moving on from that,
Yeah.
but basic training was just intense.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. So, I mean, to an extent, man, you found some fucking solace from that chaotic life that you were living.
Well, and the structure helped immensely.
Absolutely. And
I had never had that kind of structure before where it's like, this is what you're doing, what you're eating, you know.
oh, yeah.
You
You're
don't-
so far up your ass, you ain't even got
Yeah.
time to think. Yeah.
It's like my last name is Slack, so they put you with anyone that has SM. Like I was with all the Smiths. Slack was
The
me,
endless amount
and
of
then
Smiths.
anything that was like last name close to me, they booked you together, whether you liked each other or not, didn't matter.
Yeah.
You know.
That's wild. That's so crazy, man, because it almost looked there was like it sounds to me like you saw some light at the end of the tunnel, like from all this pain and chaos that you were experiencing, and it was like I found it.
Well, it wasn't pain and chaos yet.
Yeah.
It was just consequences. And it wasn't like it wasn't getting arrested. Like I've never been arrested.
But your life wasn't going the way that you imagined it going, and then
I had no direction.
right.
I think was I was
and
rudderless.
and this gave you that, and then at the snap of walking through a door into some guy's office, he's like, "Nah, fuck you.
Yeah.
You fucked up."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what was going through your head when
how did
when you were
that
talking
feel?
to your commander that February 4th, man?
A bunch of emotions. I mean, that was just at first it was like bargaining.
Yeah.
And then real quickly I figured out nothing was going to work.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, please, I'll do anything you want me to
it's
do.
the military. Like, you know.
They got room for that. They
Yeah.
got plenty of heads lining up to take your spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was like considering, do I do the deal? And then I remember that dude always made fun of me. He like, they sat me down and like went over that night in like ridiculous detail. Like I would possibly even be like, so how big were the lines? And I was like, I don't know, like this big. How many did you do? Like 3, which is probably not true. But and then they're like asking me like,
did them till I blacked out,
question like,
motherfucker.
how
What do you
thick were
think?
they? And asking stuff like that. I was like, I don't know.
Why? What did he say? Why he was asking these questions?
No, I was terrified. Why would I care? I just
Yeah,
wanted to
that's
be
fair.
out of there, and like I didn't know what was going to happen to me at the time. I didn't know if like my life was still owned by them or
Right.
what.
So like in this lull time where like you didn't walk but you couldn't leave right away, were you just like chilling in your bunk or like?
Yeah, but
What
you
did you
can't
do?
like you don't have autonomy to do anything. Like I can't just be like, "Oh, I'm going to go over to the store." Like you're in lockdown. Like you can't like just wander off from the barracks.
Yeah.
Like even if I wasn't in trouble, you can't do that.
Fuck.
Word.
That sounds like shit.
That's just basic training, though.
sounds
right.
That's not,
torturous.
yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Like, especially
I mean, I'm sure
given-
like if you're an active participant in basic training, it's like, okay, cool. Like I'm like, my legs don't work anymore today anyways, so I don't really want to do anything, but like you were just chilling.
I'd still do all the physical exercise and all those things with like the new recruits that came in after my friends left
Yeah.
and all that stuff. And
Just
like,
a repetitive.
You talked to your friends before they left?
yeah,
What was that like?
well, it was the night before.
Right.
So like I didn't have a lot of time because I went back and like maybe a couple people I talked to and told them what happened, but then like the next morning, graduation, they're on a plane, they're leaving to their next training thing.
Did you tell any of your homies like, hey, like
No.
prior to failing the drug test,
No.
you're like, hey, I fucked up over Christmas?
No.
So it was like a shock to everybody.
Yeah.
Damn.
Things might have been different if I got honest the second I got back
Yeah.
Yeah.
with like the higher ups.
Yeah.
But
Who
I didn't
knows,
even
though?
think to do that.
Yeah. I wouldn't have done it. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, hey, what's up?
Especially 20 years old.
Senior chief, I fucking snorted cocaine when you told me not to. I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know how that would have
Master
went.
Chief from Halo.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
So you get this general discharge.
Yeah.
And you sit around for a few months watching groups of other recruits going through this program.
Oh, it
and
was months?
graduating.
Months.
Oh, I didn't know it was months. I thought it
Multiple
was days.
graduating classes.
Yep.
Fuck.
And like I had become like this weird fucked up mentor in a way where it's like, okay, I've taken this fucking rifle apart 1,000 times now. Let me show some of these new guys how to do it.
Yeah. But you're like a fucking pariah at this point. You're
How many
like,
years
hey,
ago
don't
was
do what
this?
this guy's doing.
This was this was 2003.
So 2003, it's 2019. So 16 years ago. You think you can still like rip a rifle apart and put it back together just because you've done it so many times?
Not the same, no.
Oh.
But I probably could figure it out.
Yeah.
But
Do you own guns?
no,
You just don't. You just don't see a need.
no.
I was just curious.
These mics are his guns now.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Hey, you got permits for those?
22s, bro.
It's not exactly street legal.
Those 30-06s, dude.
Yeah.
So what happened next, man?
I
So
can't see the time. I don't know where we're at.
Me
So
neither.
if you turn the computer a tiny bit.
We're at 30.
Oh, we're at 30.
Want to cut it?
Yeah, we can take a little break here.
So
Okay.
when we get back,
Hit
man,
space bar.
I want to see.
Check it out. Watch what'll happen. There you go. There you go. Coming up.
Is that the one?
The biggest bar.
Where is it?
It's at the bottom in the center.
It's the bar on the keyboard.
See if that works. Did it not work? Oh man, I thought that was gonna be really cool.
What happened? What do you think was gonna happen?
That's what I thought was gonna happen.
So this is where we're fading out, right?
All right, so when we come back, I'll tell you about once I got sober and some other crazy stuff that happened in the first like couple of years, because that was really crazy.
Yeah, just because you get sober doesn't mean that your life gets better like instantly.
We'll get into worse.
That. Yeah, so we'll get into that too.
Yeah.
Gotta hear this. Stay tuned.
Welcome to reality, motherfuckers.
Bye, brothers.
Later, brother.
Good evening, my friends. It's Commander Cutie, Mr. Chudsy Wubsy from the Last Week Out podcast, and we've got some exciting news for y'all. Over here at the Last Week Out podcast, we are produced by Slack Media, and they have a special promotion going on right now. If you are a two-legged Homo sapien or a millennial who just had a meaningful conversation and have the urge to put it on the internet, we're just the people for the job. We record, edit, and update and post. Update and post. What the fuck is update? Why did I say update?
You can update stuff.
I guess you can update stuff. Listen, dude, you want to fucking do a podcast? Guess what? We're the ones that can do it for you. We can edit, mix, master, and produce the whole thing, and we can help you figure out, do you know what an RSS feed is? Because I sure didn't when I started this, but because of Slack Media, now I do. So if you have a podcast and you want to get it started and you want to skip all the difficult stuff, go ahead and email slackmediallc@gmail.com. Or you can god damn it, dude. Or you can slide in our DMs at the Last Week Out on Instagram. Get on in there. Love you. Bye.
What up, what up?
What up, what up? Two times.
Two
Back with
times.
Slack.
Not one, but two. What up, Dave?
Oh, not a lot.
Big Mac Daddy Slack.
We had a good break.
Yeah,
Dave
Nick.
chased his cats around the house a little bit.
Nick took a dump.
Took a nice big old shit.
Oh,
great.
remember we're not supposed to talk about poop talk.
Ooh.
You were going to do a shout out too, remember?
To Zora. We are not
So
going.
close.
We're not going to talk about shitting anymore. No, that's what I just did like 3 seconds ago.
Episode without talking about shit.
Yep. We are sorry, but you are so great, and thank you for all the love that you're showing us out there. We sincerely appreciate it. So, thank you so much.
She was our first subscriber.
Yep, our first subscriber, dude.
Understand.
All fucking love, dude.
That's where it
all
all
love.
started.
Thank you so
Possibly
much.
the first unsubscriber if you talk to
Yeah.
start talking about that some more.
First
I'm pretty
unsubscriber,
sure
if I
we
have
got a
anything to do
couple
with
of
it.
We did get a thumbs down on our first video.
I already know. No, it
Ooh.
wasn't intentional. It was so I had a friend. I want to clarify
You looked
this.
into it. You
I did look
investigated
into
this. didn't
So
you?
I had a friend shared our podcast, and I saw that on he posted a picture of the actual YouTube page with the video playing at the top of it, and I saw that blue thumb lit up for the thumbs down, right? And I never said anything to him, but
Oh my God,
but I did
unfollow
ask him. I did ask him. He was like, "Dude, that was totally fucking my bad." Like I listened to it and I absolutely loved it, but yeah, it was totally fucking my mistake. It was Nick.
Did you tell him to go?
Yeah, it
Did
was
you tell him to
Nick.
go change it?
Huh?
Did you tell him to go change it to
No.
thumbs up?
No.
Keep it real.
Yeah,
little
dude.
little hate's good.
Yeah, dude.
you know, every now and
Gotta
then.
balance it out.
Yeah.
What are we at? 25 and 1? I'll take that. all
Yeah,
day.
I'm cool with that.
25 with one non-intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some. I just want to say this briefly too. There are some people out there that have listened to our podcasts and have gotten a little, uncomfortable about it. That was not at all our intention.
No.
We just want to get on here and be real, be honest, be raw,
Yeah.
and honestly, let some people out there that don't know us at all know that they're not alone.
Yeah, this is podcast is for people who have been through traumatic situations, and it's not about like where we are right now, right? Like when we're talking to a guest or talking amongst ourselves, and we're agreeing with how these people feel or whatever. That's in no way indicative of how we feel in this exact time. This is how we felt. And hopefully to not only let them know that they're not alone, so that when they're letting other people know that they're not alone, who they had never met before, it's not just coming from one person, right?
No.
It's from all of us. So I don't know, man.
Said, let's get back to
Yeah.
Big Daddy Slack.
Yeah.
Daddy.
Yeah, people get so sensitive in 2019.
Dude, you have no idea, bro.
Jesus.
You have no idea.
Hell yeah. Tell him.
I'm just over it. I was on the cusp of millennialism and Gen X, so I got a little of both. I love the technology. I love the shit that goes on with that, the social media, whatever. It's fun.
We saw it come up.
But like when I was a kid, we went outside and played. My favorite thing was to like steal my dad's sodas and like launch them up in the air and watch them smash on the ground outside in the cul-de-sac and like climb from trees and like do things that kids are supposed to do. I don't know.
real.
Dude,
And
do
I
any
feel
of you
like people are getting away from that.
Do any of you guys know who Ari Shaffir is?
No.
Yeah, he's a comedian.
Yeah, he's a comedian. He's been with Joe Rogan a bunch of times, right? But Ari Shaffir, when we were a lot younger, he came out with these videos on YouTube
I was probably 25, but yeah.
called he's older than you.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's saying a lot, bro. I'm just kidding, dude.
Oh shit.
It's going way back.
But he
Damn.
came out with these videos called The Amazing Racist. You ever seen those?
Yeah.
I
Those
saw
are
The Amazing
great.
Race.
Huh?
I saw The Amazing Race. That was a good
No,
show.
so it's like he would go and he
He
would
would go to the border and shit. Right?
yeah, he would go to the border, right? And he would take, and granted, the only reason I'm speaking about this is because back in the day, right? I'm not racist at all, right? Are you racist?
If you have to
It usually
preface
comes
anything
from
with
racism.
that,
Well, I want to make the
usually-
clarification before I say what I'm about to say, right? Since we're talking
Okay.
about how
so I'm
sensitive
not
people are.
racist, but go ahead.
But this guy used to, he would go and like get a bunch of people and who are looking for work, right? He would bring them all, put them in the back of his truck, and then he would go straight to the immigration office, right, and start yelling out slurs and stuff like that, and people ate it up. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Millions
Absolutely.
and millions of views, right? And people loved it, right? Granted, some people probably didn't, but like,
Probably got a few thumbs down.
right, for sure. But it was like,
Just a couple.
Maybe unintentional.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, unintentional for sure. But like, it's so crazy that like back then, like those videos were accepted. Would you agree?
Yeah. I mean,
have
they
you
were
ever
definitely more
watched
prevalent.
Friends in the last few years?
No, why?
There's a
You
lot of
have watched
homophobia in Friends. There's a lot of gay jokes, a lot of
damn.
like weird
Do you think
jokes that
people-
would not
Fly
be
today,
okay
man.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
It's
isn't
so
that-
strange, and
isn't
Friends
that
was not
weird?
that long ago.
Isn't that weird? Like,
Yeah.
it's like how, like this guy clearly did it for comedy, right? And I don't know whether he's racist or not, but like I firmly believe that he just did it for comedy, and
I got a drop of Chad saying, "I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be racist or not."
really
Yeah.
nice.
That's some good dirt. If he ever becomes governor or anything, man,
Yeah.
he can really blackmail.
Oh, I got better ones than that.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. All I'm saying is like, yeah, dude, motherfuckers are just sensitive.
Yeah.
Like,
Super sensy, dude.
It's
It's
true.
it's like you say one wrong thing on one of these podcasts, dude, and it like, you're getting aired out on Reddit and fucking, not that we would, because nobody gives a fuck about us, but all I'm saying is like careers get ended on YouTube like that,
You
dude.
got to be more
because of
positive,
feelings.
dude.
Huh?
You got to be more positive.
What do you mean?
You got to speak into existence.
Oh, dude,
your
that's
goals.
me being realistic. We got 35 subscribers. We're a couple grains of sand on the beach, bro. Amongst grains.
That's all
Well,
it takes.
Yeah, you're not wrong, man. A lot of people are fucking sensitive, like super sensitive. We can't be that way, luckily, because that frothy emotional appeal doesn't get us anywhere. you know.
So let me tell you about frothy emotional appeal.
Let's hear some frothiness.
Yeah.
All right, so I get sober. All right, we'll skip everything else. It doesn't matter, really. I get sober, and for the first 7-8 months, I'm on this cloud, pink cloud, right?
Word.
I'm killing it, doing everything you're supposed to do. I'm doing more service than anybody else I know. I'm doing all this stuff, and then I meet this girl
There's always a girl.
at the halfway house that I live at. And there were about 100, 110 people at this halfway house, 30 of them women. And they're the only 30 girls in the entire world that I'm not allowed to talk to or date. But I
And
pick
what
one
do
of
you do?
them.
Of course. We all want what we can't have, dude.
Straight up.
Right? And so we start talking, passing notes, texting, whatever. And then
Because it's better when it's secret.
we kissed one time.
Oh, shit.
And this girl was also in recovery, and she felt the urge, she felt compelled to get honest with the office.
Oh,
She snitched you out.
She snitched us out. And
love.
we both got kicked out.
Right. Oh, shit. Right on.
Right? And so like any good newly sober addict, within 3 or 4 weeks, we moved in together.
I like it.
Yeah.
Sounds
I
about
like where
right.
this is going.
And things were good for a while. They were really good.
What's a while?
3, 4, 5 months.
Okay.
Rehab romance.
Yeah, it was what was sober house romance after rehab.
Recovery
More
romance, dude.
mature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously people were like, hey, that's probably not a good idea, blah blah blah. And we're like, yeah, okay, I hear you. But so one day I'm going to this meeting, and I remember specifically what meeting it was, and it was on a Monday, and I show up to the meeting, and like 2 of her friends were there, and they look like ghosts, and they're like, oh, you haven't heard? And I was like, what? And they're like, oh, she's out at this Motel 6 at I-17 Indian School, and she's getting high.
Oh, shit.
And so I decided that I should go with them and do this 12-step call, which is like where you intervene on somebody and try and get them to come back. It was the first one I've done.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, all right, I'll go with you guys. They're like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, totally.
Yeah, we're in
This
love.
will be good. So we show up, and
talk her
it's
into
a horror scene. There's blood everywhere. She's like
Good God.
using vodka instead of water to shoot up heroin and meth. And
So
just-
blood. Just to
a
be clear,
mess.
there was blood from
Her.
her, not like somebody like whooping the shit out of her.
No,
Okay.
she was there alone.
Okay.
And I tried to use frothy emotional appeal to be like, look at like, you should come home, like blah blah blah. And she's like, no. So we were there for about an hour, and we leave. And later that night, like 3, 4 in the morning, we're still texting. She hits me up and she goes, hey, can I come home? I was like, yeah, sure. And so she takes a taxi back there, and she's just off the wall, out of her head at this time, like a lot of meth. And I was like, did you bring anything with you? And she's like, yes. And so it was like 2 big bags of meth and like syringes and a spoon and some other stuff.
Word.
So it's 3 or 4 in the morning. I don't want to bother anyone. So I like by myself, put it all in the grocery bag, walk down to the dumpster, throw it out, come back upstairs. And then for like the next 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, she's like, for the first 2 for sure, she was like in a psychosis. Like she was seeing people that weren't there, like talking to people, like describing these psychoses that she's having
Yeah,
to
pretty
me.
standard.
It was pretty wild. And then on Friday, she's able to get into a rehab in Chandler. So 4 days later, and I'm like, finally, I'm like by myself. I'm like, okay, everything's okay now. And then out of nowhere, I get this thought in my head that I should go check the dumpster. Make sure that there's no kids playing with it and that they're getting stuck with needles or like whatever the idiot thought I had was. So I walked downstairs. I passed my friends who are also in recovery, their apartment. They're playing video games. Like, what's up, guys? Walk over to the dumpster. I look in 4 days later, and that grocery bag is the only thing in the dumpster.
Fuck. How long had you been sober at this time when you're looking in this dumpster?
About a year.
Okay.
So I reach in the dumpster and grab the bag out, and I bring it upstairs and I lay everything out on the ground, and I'm like,
shit.
I'm just in this weird headspace that like I'm watching myself what I'm doing, but like I'm not
control.
doing anything about it.
Jesus.
You know, and then and remember from earlier, I don't like those kind of drugs. I don't like uppers. It's not my thing at all. I hate it.
Yeah.
But still, I was like entranced by it. And then like the first thing that comes in my head is that I have my home group meeting tonight, and it's a Heroin Anonymous meeting. I probably shouldn't be high on meth doing a Heroin Anonymous meeting, because that's just bad form, you know?
Right.
That's a little bit disrespectful.
Yeah. You know, at least do the right drug.
Yeah. Yeah.
So after that thought came in my head, then I was like, oh shit, I should call those guys I just walked by twice. You know? And
Your homies. Your
yeah,
homies
they had
who were in
like 2-3
recovery.
years sober, both of
Yeah.
them. And so I called them. They came up there, helped me like throw it out in the toilet and get rid of it. And then it was like removed. It was gone. So and then I was like out of that. But I didn't get high that day, which was something other than me. That was wild.
That close.
Uh-huh.
You couldn't even control your actions, man. You just like went into
You ever done
playback
ketamine?
mode.
Yeah.
It was like being in a K-hole where like you're out of body, watching yourself, doing these things. And like, you know, if you're going for a walk on it, like you're just like
Yeah.
third person shooter.
First time I ever got in a K-hole was in the middle of school. They found me in the fucking hallway, bro.
Just standing there.
Sitting, actually. Yeah.
So that kind of set off a series of similar events. You know, she got out of the rehab, then she moved back in, and then she kept getting high. Like I'd come home and she would be out on the balcony smoking heroin or this or that. And that went on for a good while. You know, then she'd try and get into this sober place, and then she'd come back after a little while, and then or she'd relapse again. It was just like the cycle that would just not stop.
How long was this cycle?
So at least 6 months, because on my 18 months, the date that I got 18 months sober, I was so into this situation, I sat through a drug deal with her.
God damn.
On the day that you got 18 months
And the
sober.
day on my 18 months sobriety birthday, I sat through a drug deal with her, and then I actually did the deal because she was so fucked up that she was going to do it wrong and get us caught.
was
So
gonna
I just got out of the car and
yeah.
did it myself because like I'm not trying to get caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wasn't getting
Talk about
high.
codependent.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. And then she almost crashed her car on the ride home too. So then I had to figure that one out too.
Fuck.
So you guys were living together while this was all happening?
Yes.
Good
Okay.
Lord.
Yeah.
And you're still staying sober. You're 18 months.
Yeah, I'm sponsoring guys. I'm going to like 7-8 meetings a week. I'm talking to my sponsor about it all the time. Like I'm being transparent,
Oh,
but I'm
shit.
just also being fucking nuts.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just in it. And
I've experienced that exact same thing.
I remember she went to this place called Calvary one time, and her family was out of town and didn't really talk to her very much, and so I did family day with her instead. You know, and they have module 1 and module 2.
You are the new
Yeah.
family.
did that with my parents.
I sat through this PALS meeting, parents of addicted loved ones, and then like I made the mistake of in this parent meeting thing, like explaining that I'm there for this girl, but I'm also an addict, and then all of these questions started coming at me, and I'm like, that's not why I'm here. Like I'm just trying to like find the same answers you guys are. But that didn't work out well. But I remember sitting in the counselor's office. It was me, her, and her therapist or counselor, whoever it was. And excuse me. And I burped.
Yeah. I heard it.
And I remember like just thinking like, what can I say to fix this? And so I was like, look it, I don't want to have a baby with you that's born addicted to heroin. So I need you to stop.
Jesus Christ.
Damn.
that worked.
Knowing
End of
everything.
story.
Yeah. And then she got sober and we have 2 kids now. It's great. No, just kidding. So no, but like knowing everything I know about my own experience in addiction and all my friends and everything, like how that doesn't work. I would never tell that to a sponsee, like any of that. Like just, I was just so wrapped up in like grasping at straws, you know?
Yeah.
And
I need this to work for me.
yeah.
I need her to work for me.
Yeah.
I need this
I was
to
thinking
work
that
for
like
us.
that would be so impactful to say to her that
Yeah.
that would be the thing to like get her out of this.
Yeah.
And
And
it
I can
didn't.
get her back again.
Yeah, it didn't work. And then there was like a couple other real close calls where one night I was just so fed up with everything. I was like, fine, just bring it back. I'll do it with you. You know? And then I called one person that I didn't think knew anybody that I knew. And I was like, hey, I'm going to do this. Somebody told me to call somebody. See you later. Click. And he happened to be at the halfway house where Anthony and one of Anthony's sponsees was right next to him. And so he told him, and then like not even 4 minutes later, Anthony and Sponsy show up to my house, and they're like, "Hey, what up?" I was like, "Just chilling." And he's like, "So we heard what's going on." They sit down on the couch. He goes, "Well, if you're gonna get high, this is gonna be real awkward."
Yo, that's
because we're not leaving. Yeah, he's like, "Because we're not leaving."
Yeah.
Oh man.
So
Damn.
so that was cool.
So did you get loaded?
No,
Nice.
she came back and didn't have anything. She didn't do the deal right because I wasn't there to do it for her, probably.
Or she had something, did it?
Yeah, it could be. She didn't want to share.
Jesus, dude.
So eventually, it came to a head where like, I don't know why I didn't do this sooner, but like it was a real bad day where like I started going to Al-Anon, and they're like, you need to set boundaries and blah blah blah, and like so I'm hearing everything, but like I'm really not experienced and versed in that, and I was having a real tough time of it.
What's Al-Anon?
Al-Anon is the sister program to Alcoholics Anonymous.
Okay. What do they do?
So they have their own book, and it was written by the wife of the original founder of Alcoholics Anonymous, Lois. Basically it's a program for parents and loved ones of people who have alcoholism, and it's to basically show you kind of like how the disease also affects you and how you can deal with it in ways. And the cool thing about the best part about it is like they don't give you direction. They're not like, you need to do this ever. Like it's more like, so this is my experience. I'm not going to tell you you need to kick the person out or you don't need to kick them out or anything like that. They're just like, here's how to create a boundary. And it's okay if you fail.
Right on.
Here, just do it again.
It's beautiful.
You know, and that kind of stuff. And so that resonated with me because they allow you plenty of space to be wrong and to fail and to learn how to do it correctly, because there's no right answer in those kind of situations. Because what if they're like, you need to tell her to leave, and I'm like, okay, you need to leave, and she goes out and dies.
Right.
You know, then that's on them.
Right.
Or at least it would have, I would interpret it as that.
Right.
At least. And so if it's done right, there's not advice like that given. Right. And so I started to try and implement these boundaries, but they were always just like dog shit.
Yeah.
And so I'd be like, if you're going to use, you can't stay here. And she'd be like, okay. And then she'd go down to her car in the parking lot of the apartment complex and just get high there.
Yeah.
And then like I'd come out the next day and I'd be like, you can just go upstairs. Like, what are you doing?
You were still trying to put together any remnants of this relationship that remained.
Well, I was like
together,
sticking to
right?
this idea that like drugs aren't going to ruin this relationship
Yeah.
or some dumb shit like that. I don't know.
Overcome.
But so one day I go down when I had asked her not to use in the house, and I go down and she's like half leaning out of her car, vomit everywhere, needles, syringes stuck in the back of the seat, like booze spilled in the car, like just a really bad scene. And so I help her up, I get her in the shower, I turn it on, I just leave her there, and like for whatever reason I called her friend and her friend sponsored, and they came over, and these two like solid women. Within 5 minutes of them showing up, they had her up, smacked around, up in the car, ready to go to rehab. And I was like, I've been trying to do that for months. Like, and all it took was like one phone call and two women who were not like in the situation to come do it.
Yeah.
Was it tough to realize like you didn't have that power?
Oh, I didn't realize that yet.
Yeah.
I was just like, damn, look what I did. I got her help.
So you still thought you had the
Oh,
power?
I was still 100% in it.
Yeah.
So she gets into this rehab that was like the Salvation Army for women, where it's like it's a lockdown place. Like you're not leaving. They didn't allow the women to talk to men, even if they were their father, brother, or husband, for like the first month or two.
Right on.
And she was just there. I remember
Basic training.
Yeah,
Drug addicts.
I remember dropping her off and just being just so over it, but I was still like there. I was the one who dropped her off, And so a month goes by, and with no word because she's in this place, And so this was like summer of 2014, something like that, and my grandma had flown out here from Michigan to live, and I was tasked with flying out to Michigan, getting her car, and driving it back to here for her. So I fly out to Michigan, and I'm driving, and I took a detour from Michigan to Virginia Beach to go see a Nine Inch Nails show. And and after the show, I come back, and it's like, so that was Tuesday night. I wake up Wednesday morning. I start driving, and I'm driving through Tennessee. I'm in the middle of Tennessee, just cross country by myself. And I get this phone call, and it's from the director of the rehab that she was in. And the director's like, hey, so you're the only person on her emergency contact. I was like, all right, I like where this is going.
Damn right.
Cool.
Oh, no.
And she's like, so Naima left yesterday and got picked up by the police that night. And in the morning, what happened was she got out of 4th Avenue jail, climbed up to a 6-story parking structure, and jumped off.
Shit.
She landed on a car coming into work. It was like a Tuesday or Wednesday morning, something like that, that broke her fall and saved her life. But her pelvis was completely shattered. Her leg was in traction for like 8 weeks. Face was all bruised up, bunch of broken bones everywhere and everything like that. And I'm in the middle of Tennessee with this information.
Yeah.
Not like I could do anything anywhere, but like I have no I don't have my network. I don't have my network anywhere. I'm just like out here.
What was going through your head, man? Like, what happened? Were you tripping?
Yeah, I tried to call her mom. She didn't answer. I couldn't reach her. So I think I actually may have talked to her, and she was like, hello, like that.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And, I was heading towards Memphis, and I called this hotline, and they directed me to a meeting, and I made it to a meeting that night where I was able to share about that.
Right on.
And that was really cool. That was a good experience. And then I get back, and I went, like, the first thing I did was go and visit her,
Right. I mean,
And-
understandably.
kind of.
In a really codependent form.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I
And-
mean, you get this information about somebody that you've been in a relationship with, regardless of what you've been through. I mean, you hear that somebody's jumped from the 6th story of a fucking parking structure.
So let me back up a little
Probably
bit,
go
and
see her.
and so once she got a little more cognizant, she told me the events of how it happened, and she was just so distraught with like where life had done, like she fucked up again and this, that she just wanted to end it. And she tells me that she went up to the 6th story, got over the edge, and was holding on, right? And for a split second, she was like, I don't want to do this. This is a bad idea. And she said she remembered looking over and like seeing some plants and be like, oh no, I should go here. This is the sidewalk. And so she moved over. She's holding on like this. And then for a split second, she's like, I shouldn't do this. And then she slipped.
Fuck.
Damn.
Next thing she knows, she wakes up and she's in the ER.
Oh, fuck.
And so at this time, I had been heavily involved in the Al-Anon program, going twice a week and being involved, getting service commitments and stuff in there. And but I was still in it, This brought me right back to it, even though I hadn't talked to her for like a month,
It's pretty
month
much
and a half.
a relapse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm there, and I'm just there for her, and I'm still doing my own recovery thing. And she eventually gets out of the ER after like a month and a half and goes to this rehabilitation place where she's starting to learn to walk again and do these things like that. And so I was visiting her there every so often, and at that point, like, people are telling me like, dude, you need to step away. And I was like, okay, I can't, like, I just couldn't.
Yeah.
And
Did it kind of feel like, did it resemble the time when you grabbed that bag out of the trash can and splayed it out on the table as if you were on autopilot?
yeah, like I would be driving there and be like, why am I going here?
Yeah.
But it
What is this accomplishing?
But it doesn't matter what answers of why or what is this accomplishment, because you're going to fucking go regardless.
yeah,
It doesn't
and that,
fucking matter.
I mean, and after a while, that's like with my sponsor, he would be like, you're killing her by doing this. You shouldn't do this. I was like, I know, but I'm going to.
Oh, man.
But those are the kind of like candid conversations I can have with him, whereas like, this is what I'm going to do. I know it's bad, but like, I hope you still answer my phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm there, and I'd been in Al-Anon for about a year and a half at this point now. And so I'm hearing all this information, but none of it's really registering, or at least none of it's like being put into real action. And so she gets honest with me while she's like in between walking sessions, you know.
Yeah.
And she says like, I'm taking my Dilaudid and I'm shooting it into my PICC line. That's going directly into my heart.
She told you this.
Yeah, so I'm still getting high after all of this.
God damn.
And it like, so in my regular recovery, like I didn't have like this huge first step like coming to God experience. It was gradual and it was like, okay, cool, and get involved. But like right then, everything that Al-Anon had taught me, like all became like super in the front of my mind.
Yeah.
And I was able, and like I had like a powerful experience where I was just like separated.
Yeah.
Because it's like everything that I was taught, like you can't control it, you didn't cause it, you can't cure it, you know, and you can't. There's nothing that I can physically do with whatever she's going through, and like I understood it logically, but now I understood it on like a primal level, and I was and in that moment it was like a shift, and I was just able to like separate from it.
Word.
And then it wasn't tied anymore after that point.
Wow.
So the second you hung up from that phone call with the director of this place where she was, it's like, yeah, she jumped, right? In that moment, how'd you feel?
I kind of was running on habit. Called my sponsor, called my Al-Anon sponsor, you know, called these people and just talked it out. Put on a speaker tape, and I went to this meeting. You know, I just went through the motions of the things that I had been doing up to that point to keep. I didn't really like try to process it because it was just so ridiculous.
Right. I mean, you had
Just
been
going to
through
shock?
I mean, had you been through so much with this girl that it wasn't, I guess it maybe like it didn't affect you like as it may affect you, say if you were in a relationship with somebody who was like healthy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You were just like, wow.
Not surprising, or
Yeah,
did
I guess
feel
that's what
like
I'm
you went into
asking.
shock
Like,
at all?
Maybe.
Kinda,
I don't know. Like I shared about it that night at the meeting,
yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
like you kind of took a lot of the power away from it right there.
I guess. And like I didn't just sit in the car and think about it for a few hours. Like I called people right after I found out.
Yeah.
Were you sad though?
Well, yeah.
Absolutely.
I was grateful that she didn't die,
Right.
but like I had no way to gauge how bad it was from where I was at. You know, I just heard that this happened, and that sounds pretty bad.
Were those thoughts going through your head like, hey, like I don't know exactly what's going on?
Well,
so
yeah.
like,
And then when I did see her, it was as bad as you could picture.
fuck.
Mangled, huh?
Yeah.
Damn.
Fuck.
So how long were y'all together when you had this moment of detachment?
Yeah.
When she told you, I'm shooting Dilaudid on a
I mean, if
hospital
you're saying
bed,
together, like it's tough to say
Involved,
because of the
maybe?
whole tumultuous path that we had been on, you know?
Yeah.
So probably a year, maybe a little more.
Word.
And then this was the day, that conversation that you had with her when she told you about the PICC line, and you were like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm done.
And from that point on, I was able to like stop going and visiting her.
She tried to reach out to you?
Yeah, and it wasn't like I cut it off completely, but like I was much more guarded, and I was able to actually set boundaries. Go there and not be emotionally invested. Just go there in a supportive way, and not as much and not as often, and not like the good night text and this and all these things, you know?
So
And
sorry.
she instantly started to get healthier.
Yeah.
Wow.
So for the
Imagine that.
so for the people in the back, right, who don't have any experience with this, like these healthy boundaries, what are those? What does that look
Oh,
like?
jeez. I mean, it's different for everyone. Whatever your boundaries are yours.
What
you
do
know,
yours
but
look like?
the thing is, it's like if I'm not okay with something and I express it, and then somebody crosses that, then I need to be able to inform you and let you know. And I'm okay with that. And I'm not very rigid with boundaries in my day-to-day life. It's not a big thing, but like if there's not a lot of things that I don't like, you know, or that upset me. But like also if somebody is conducting themselves in a way that doesn't like align with my values, then I just don't fuck with that person,
Word.
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
So did you guys stay involved after all this happened?
No, she moved up to Prescott for a second, and then now she's living in one of the Dakotas,
Word.
and has been out there for 5 years.
You guys keep in contact ever?
No.
That's wild. So, would you say this was one of the turning points in your lives where you just like it's just like a fucking truck hit you? You had this breakthrough.
So coming out of it, it made me much healthier because it's like, okay, I can get through that. What's gonna happen that's gonna take me out?
Yeah.
Not in a cocky sense, but it's like, fuck, that was nuts.
More like a
Take
cockroachy
you out. What do you mean?
Like relapse.
Yeah.
Or like take me down in like an emotional sense. Like if I got through that and I was still showing up for friends and sponsoring guys and like showing up for work and doing whatever I needed to do, like what could really be that bad besides that?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean that.
You know? And the experience of being able to like help other people that are going through something similar, because it's like whatever you're gonna tell me, I can probably one up you with one of my stories about oh, your girlfriend relapsed. That's cute. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, that is some fucking emotional terrorism, man.
Dude, I can totally relate, dude. I was in a same situation, not the same circumstances with the jumping and all that stuff, but exact same situation with, can't stay here if you're getting loaded. So she goes to her car, find her the next morning. It's just like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? I completely get it, dude. It's fucking horrible. And it's crazy because the people who are doing it, right? The people who, like that person who can't stop using or can't stop drinking,
only hurting myself.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I thought.
They will never ever understand the pain that they cause the people around them who have the inability to help them. Especially if they don't know that they have the inability to help them.
Mm-hmm.
Because they spend their days crying and hurting and wishing and praying that they could help you or that something would help you, and it just doesn't happen, and it just fucking rips people in half.
Yeah, man, that's important to know. Also on the flip side, like it sounds like there was a level of like a certain magnitude of damage that you were doing to her as well by sticking around.
Probably.
Same in my situation.
Did you ever realize that? Like in that moment, that detachment moment, did you realize that?
I probably realized it during it, but I couldn't separate.
Word.
Damn, dude. That's fucking crazy, bro.
To admit that even with the most genuine and loving and best intentioned actions and behaviors and thoughts, like in your mind, like how does like getting to that place of detachment, like prior to that, like how do you relate to that boundary, that crossing that boundary, like constantly enabling that person to continue doing what they're doing?
How do I justify it?
Not justify necessarily, but like
how do I reconcile doing that kind of thing?
Yeah.
That I was coming at it from like, I'm supportive no matter what, unconditional, and everybody else has written her off.
Yeah. But
I won't. And really, it was just a skewed way of thinking about it,
Yeah. That's wild. Yeah, I've had some instances myself on the toxic enabling, the fucking, I love this person, I will help them, I will show them what they need to see.
It's so weird because my experience is like I started out in the place where everybody else was trying to help me, right? And then I got sober, and then I got into the exact same situation as you, right? And it's so much harder to differentiate in the heat of the moment because you're not coming from a place of harm. You're coming from a place of help.
Yeah.
But
even with sponsees though, like I had a guy that was hopeless for a while, and he's like, "Can I please just stay on your couch? Please, just one night." And absolutely not. He goes, "Oh, can I just stay on the couch outside? It's the middle of the summer." I was like, "No." I go, "Here's what you can do. You can park your car in front of my house and sleep in your car for one night. Other than that, you got to figure it out."
Yeah.
And it's not like an asshole thing. It's just like, yo, this isn't helping.
Yeah.
This isn't going to help you at all. And I can clearly see that when I couldn't when it was in my life.
Yeah, giving you food and shelter is not going to help help you recognize what the fuck you're going through.
I'll give him food.
I don't.
I'm not a
I mean,
animal.
sure. Yeah, no, I'm saying like, I guess that was a bad way to word it. I guess what I'm saying is like, giving them, a warm roof over their head.
Throw some water on his face and be like, "Get out of here."
And fucking, helping them to like be as comfortable as they can be when they in that moment they need to be as uncomfortable as possible in order for them to get the full grasp of the situation.
Well, that's what it took for me. I've let people crash on my couch before, take a shower, do these things, and it's like then they get high in my bathroom.
Right. Yeah,
it's
that's
like
not welcome.
tight.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
I don't
It doesn't
need
help
that.
anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't help anything.
So there's somebody listening to this right now. Not right now, but right now.
Right
who's
now,
probably got some
whenever you
issues.
make it. Yeah.
Yeah, right. They've got somebody in their life that resembles this woman for you, right? And
Whether it's a kid or a parent,
yeah,
even
husband,
or
Yeah.
husband,
niece,
wife, yeah,
whatever.
Just trying to
girlfriend,
help.
boyfriend,
crack baby,
friend.
And they've got this person in their life, man, and they're listening to this podcast and they're thinking, man, I really wish I knew what to do. I want to detach. I want to help this person by removing myself, et cetera, et cetera. What kind of advice can you give for those loved ones that really just need to?
Well, I think it's easier if you're in a program of recovery already because you know the resources and you know where to go
Word.
if you want it. There's hundreds of Al-Anon meetings all over the city. There's Co-Anon meetings. There's all these types of things that you can go to and get support. And so if that's the case, then I would suggest doing that. But if you're not, and you're just like, if you're a normie, and you're dealing with somebody that's going through that, the same things are available to you. You don't have to be sober to be going to those things, And it wasn't the meetings or this or that. It was just knowing, so it wasn't the literature, or the work or anything that I did in it. It was just the idea that I could go to a meeting and I'd share those things, and people would be like, "Oh yeah, me too."
Yeah.
Not alone.
Yeah.
Word.
And there'd be a mom talking about how she chased the heroin dealer down the street in her bathrobe. I was like, "Oh, that's tight."
With the fucking bread roller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Plunger.
then a mom told me, "Oh yeah, I did a drug deal for my son one time."
God damn. Talk about enabling.
Yeah. And so it's like, damn, okay. So at least there's a few people like me that are going through the same thing. Because I felt alone and crazy and just not a part of it because my friends didn't relate. Either their girlfriends weren't doing that crazy shit or they just were single and hadn't had that experience.
Yeah. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for somebody is the most hurtful.
Yeah. Let go. Letting go, dude. It's the hardest thing, man.
Fuck yeah, man. Well, we're about to wrap up, man.
Smash that space bar, bro.
Mr. Slack, anything else you want to get out?
I think that's good.
Real quick, shout out to Slack Media for giving us the space as usual. This is Mr. Slack Media himself, the motherfucker. Sissy Art as usual, and for what was the third one? Oh, Last Week Out, of course, for inspiring us to do this shit in the first place. So, thank you for coming, Dave.
Yeah.
We love you,
Appreciate
dude.
it, man.
Thank you.
Too. Bye.